The quest to reconcile warfare with morality is ancient. Early civilizations grappled with the ethical dilemmas of conflict. Just war theory, a framework for evaluating the morality of war, emerged from these struggles. Roman statesman and philosopher Cicero articulated early ideas about just cause for war. He believed that war should be a last resort, waged only for defense or to right a wrong. Augustine of Hippo, a prominent Christian theologian, further developed just war thinking in the 4th and 5th centuries. He emphasized proportionality in warfare, arguing that violence used should be commensurate with the harm suffered. Centuries later, Thomas Aquinas, a Dominican friar and philosopher, built upon Augustine's work. He codified just war principles into two main categories: jus ad bellum, or right to war, and jus in bello, or right conduct in war. These principles have profoundly influenced Western thought on warfare. They offer a framework for evaluating the morality of resorting to force and the ethical conduct of war. While the theory originated in a specific historical context, its core principles retain relevance in the 21st century. Understanding its origins is crucial to grasping its complexities and enduring significance in today's world. Jus ad bellum, Latin for right to war, outlines the conditions under which it is morally permissible to initiate war. It acts as a safeguard against unjustified violence. Just cause is paramount, requiring a just grievance like self-defense or protecting innocent lives. Right intention ensures war is waged for the right reasons, not for ulterior motives. Legitimate authority means the decision must come from a recognized authority. Last resort mandates all peaceful alternatives be exhausted before resorting to force. History provides ample examples of both adherence to and violations of jus ad bellum principles. The 1991 Gulf War, for instance, is often cited as a case where jus ad bellum principles were largely upheld. The invasion of Kuwait by Saddam Hussein's Iraq constituted an act of aggression, providing a just cause for intervention. The international community, led by the United States, sought a diplomatic solution through sanctions and condemnation, but these efforts proved futile. The subsequent military intervention, authorized by the United Nations Security Council, aimed to liberate Kuwait and restore its legitimate government. The operation was deemed a success, with Kuwait's liberation and a relatively swift end to hostilities. Conversely, the 2003 invasion of Iraq has been widely criticized for failing to meet the criteria of jus ad bellum. The purported existence of weapons of mass destruction, which served as the primary justification for the invasion, proved to be false. The lack of a clear and present threat, coupled with the failure to exhaust all peaceful alternatives, led many to view the invasion as a violation of just war principles. While jus ad bellum governs the resort to war, jus in bello focuses on ethical conduct during war. Ethical boundaries must be observed, combatants must distinguish between military targets and civilians. Civilians should be spared from intentional harm. Force used should be proportionate to the military advantage sought. Actions that are cruel or violate rights are prohibited. Even captured combatants deserve humane treatment. Adhering to jus in bello principles mitigates the horrors of war. Section 5, Jus in bello and modern warfare, navigating new ethical terrain. The rise of terrorism, the increasing use of drones and cyber warfare, and the blurring lines between combatants and civilians pose significant challenges to the application of jus in bello principles. Terrorism, by its nature, often targets civilians and employs indiscriminate violence, directly violating the principle of discrimination. The use of drones, while offering advantages in precision targeting, raises concerns about extrajudicial killings and the potential for collateral damage. Cyber warfare, with its ability to disrupt critical infrastructure and potentially harm civilians, presents further ethical complexities. Moreover, the presence of non-state actors, child soldiers, and the use of human shields blur the lines between combatants and civilians, making it difficult to apply the principle of discrimination. Addressing these challenges requires a nuanced understanding of jus in bello principles and their application in modern warfare. It necessitates ongoing dialogue, the development of international norms and a commitment to mitigating civilian harm. Adapting jus in bello to the realities of modern warfare is crucial for ensuring that ethical considerations remain at the forefront of military decision-making. Section 6. Contemporary relevance applying just war theory in the 21st century. Just war theory remains strikingly relevant in the 21st century. The debate on armed drones draws heavily on just war principles. Proponents argue drones minimize civilian casualties. Critics contend drone strikes result in civilian deaths. The debate highlights complexities in modern warfare. The Syrian civil war presents a compelling case study. The conflict raises questions about protecting civilians and the legality of intervention. Section 7. Criticisms and challenges, navigating the complexities of modern conflict. Despite its enduring relevance, just war theory is not without its critics and challenges. One of the main criticisms centers on the subjective nature of its principles. Critics argue that concepts like just cause, right intention and proportionality are open to interpretation and can be manipulated to justify wars that serve national interests rather than ethical considerations. The theory's application to modern warfare, characterized by non-state actors, asymmetric tactics, and the blurring of lines between combatants and civilians, poses significant challenges. Critics argue that just war theory, rooted in a Westphalian world order of nation-states, struggles to adequately address the complexities of contemporary conflict. Furthermore, some critics question the effectiveness of just war theory in preventing or mitigating the horrors of war. They argue that the theory's focus on justifying war may inadvertently legitimize violence and make it more likely. Despite these criticisms, just war theory remains a valuable framework for engaging in critical reflection on the ethics of war. Its principles, though subject to interpretation, provide a moral compass for navigating the complexities of armed conflict. Section 8. The enduring significance of just war. Theory, a framework for ethical warfare. Just war theory remains vital for grappling with the ethical dilemmas of war. Its principles provide a moral compass for decision-makers, guiding them towards ethical actions. Emphasizing just cause and last resort, it reminds us that war should be a last option. Principles of discrimination and proportionality aim to minimize civilian harm. Just war theory offers a common language for discussing the ethics of war. Section 9. The evolution of just war theory, adapting to new challenges. Just war theory is not a static doctrine, but rather an evolving framework that adapts to new challenges and realities. The emergence of new technologies, such as drones and cyber weapons, has prompted a reassessment of existing principles and the development of new norms. The growing recognition of the importance of protecting civilians and the environment has led to a greater emphasis on the principles of discrimination, proportionality, and last resort. The changing nature of warfare, characterized by the proliferation of non-state actors and the blurring of lines between combatants and civilians, has also forced a re-evaluation of traditional just war concepts. Efforts are underway to adapt the theory to these new realities, addressing issues such as the targeting of terrorists, the use of force against non-state actors, and the protection of civilians in complex humanitarian emergencies. Section 10. Conclusion: just war theory in the face of 21st century warfare. In an era marked by complex conflicts and evolving technologies, just war theory remains an indispensable tool for navigating the ethical dilemmas of war. Its principles, though subject to interpretation and challenges in application, provide a moral compass for decision-makers and a framework for engaging in critical dialogue about the use of force. While the theory may not offer easy answers or prevent all atrocities, it serves as a vital reminder of the need for moral reasoning, restraint, and accountability in matters of war and peace. As technology advances and the nature of warfare continues to evolve, just war theory must continue to adapt, remaining a dynamic and relevant framework for promoting ethical conduct in the face of 21st century warfare. The quest to reconcile warfare with morality is an ongoing endeavor, and just war theory remains an essential guidepost on this path.